Timeline of world history. The Golden Rule. Fourth, be the continuation of understanding the Golden Rule. The ultimate objective of the Golden Rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In Shinto, the Golden Rule, or law of reciprocity, is the principle of treating others as one would wish to be treated. It is a maxim of altruism seen in many human religions and human cultures. The heart of the person before you is a mirror. See there your own form. Shintoism is highly ritualized. It involves many rites and rituals. Some rituals can be practiced at home or at a shrine, which can be done whenever, which is similar to most religions. There is a wide variety of rituals ranging from warding off bad luck to purifying the soul. Yin-yang, the symbol, represents the coexistence of good within evil, and vice versa. One cannot exist without the other. It is also commonly associated with the religion of Taoism. The heart of the person before you is a mirror. See there your own form. So is added in and reinforced the idea of those others are the same self as myself, which is Taoism, and connected to Shinto. Another way to grasp this is, they are like mirrors of you. There is no difference between us. In Sikhism, more that not hurting others or making them feel good so you feel good, and they and you are the same, is the idea of bringing your spiritual journey towards the beloved, bringing God into the picture. And what helps that journey? Precious like jewels are the minds of all. To hurt them is not at all good. If thou desirest thy beloved, then hurt thou not anyone's heart. Guru Arjan. And in the Baha'i faith, Baha'u'llah says, and if thine eyes be turned towards justice, choose thou for thy neighbor that which thou choosest for thyself. Epistle to the son of the wolf, and he should not wish for others what he does not wish for himself. He should not wish for others what he does not wish for himself. Our wishes for ourselves and our desires for ourselves are all tied together with not hurting the other and doing good for them. Even though the Golden Rule is a widely accepted religious ethic, Martin Forward writes that the Golden Rule is itself not beyond criticism. His critique of the Golden Rule is worth repeating in full. He writes, two serious criticisms can be leveled against the Golden Rule. First of all, although the Golden Rule makes sense as an aspiration, it is much more problematic when it is used as a foundation for practical living or philosophical reflection. For example, should we unfailingly pardon murderers on the grounds that if we stood in their shoes, we should ourselves wish to be pardoned? Many good and godly people would have problems with such a proposal, even though it is a logical application of the Golden Rule. Rules of law are societal issues. At the very least, then, it would be helpful to specify what sort of a rule the Golden Rule actually is, rather than assuming that it is an unqualified asset to ethical living in a pluralistic world. Furthermore, it is not usually seen as the heart of religion by faithful people, but simply as the obvious starting point for a religious and humane vision of life. Take the famous story in Judaism recorded in the Talmud, Shabbat 31. A certain heathen came to Shammai, a 1st century BC rabbi, and said to him, "Make me a proselyte on condition that you teach me the whole Torah while I stand on one foot." Thereupon, he repulsed him with the rod which was in his hand. When he went to Rabbi Hillel, he said to him, "What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. That is the whole Torah, all the rest of it is commentary. Go and learn." It is easy to sympathize with Shammai's response to a person who trivializes a great religion, assuming that it can be reduced to some simple slogan, though perhaps Hillel was more sensible and compassionate, to try and draw that trivial interlocutor into abandoning sound bites for the joys and wisdom of paddling in the shallows of the ocean of truth. The heathen or Gentile converted under Hillel's wise response to his asinine question, and one hopes responded positively to Hillel's suggestion to him that he should learn the commentary which would give him the means of figuring out why the Golden Rule is important, from the Interreligious Dialogue article in the Encyclopedia of General Knowledge. Forward's argument continues, even assuming that the Golden Rule could be developed into a more nuanced pattern of behaving well in today's world, there would still be issues for religious people to deal with. For whilst moral behavior is an important dimension of religion, it does not exhaust its meaning. There is a tendency for religious people in the West to play down or even despise doctrine, but this is surely a passing fancy. It is important for religious people in every culture to inquire after the nature of transcendence, its attitude towards humans and the created order, and the demands that it makes. People cannot sensibly describe what is demanded of them as important without describing the source that wills it and enables it to be lived out. Besides, the world would be a safer place if people challenged paranoid and wicked visions of God, or however ultimate reality is defined, with truer and more generous ones, rather than if they abandoned the naming and defining of God as a fearful and sociopath person. From the Interreligious Dialogue article in the Encyclopedia of General Knowledge. In other words, Forward warns religious adherents not to be satisfied with merely the golden rule of ethics that can be interpreted and used as a form of religious and ethical relativism, but to ponder the deeper religious impulses that lead to the conviction of the golden rule in the first place, such as the idea of love in all belief systems. Due to its widespread acceptance in the world's cultures, it has been suggested that the golden rule may be related to innate aspects of human nature. In fact, the principle of reciprocity has been mathematically proved to be the most mutually beneficial means of resolving conflict, as in the prisoner's dilemma. Two prisoners arrested for robbing are placed in separate isolation cells. Both care much more about their personal freedom than about the welfare of their accomplice. A clever prosecutor makes the following offer to each. You may choose to confess or remain silent. If you confess and your accomplice remains silent, I will drop all charges against you and use your testimony to ensure that your accomplice does serious time. Likewise, if your accomplice confesses while you remain silent, they will go free while you do the time. If you both confess, I get 2 convictions, but I'll see to it that you both get early parole. If you both remain silent, I'll have to settle for token sentences on firearms possession charges. If you wish to confess, you must leave a note with the jailer before my return tomorrow morning. The dilemma faced by the prisoners here is that, whatever the other does, each is better off confessing than remaining silent. But the outcome obtained when both confess is worse for each than the outcome they would have obtained had both remained silent. A common view is that the puzzle illustrates a conflict between individual and group rationality. A group whose members pursue rational self-interest may all end up worse off than a group whose members act contrary to rational self-interest. More generally, if the payoffs are not assumed to represent self-interest, a group whose members rationally pursue any goals may all meet less success than if they had not rationally pursued their goals individually. A closely related view is that the prisoner's dilemma game and its multiplayer generalizations model familiar situations in which it is difficult to get rational, selfish agents to cooperate for their common good. A slightly different interpretation takes the game to represent a choice between selfish behavior and socially desirable altruism. The move corresponding to confession benefits the actor, no matter what the other does, while the move corresponding to silence benefits the other player, no matter what that player does. Benefiting oneself is not always wrong, of course, and benefiting others at the expense of oneself is not always morally required. But in the prisoner's dilemma game, both players prefer the outcome with the altruistic moves to that with the selfish moves. As the golden rule has touchstones in virtually all cultures, the ethic of reciprocity provides a universally comprehensible tool for handling conflictual situations. However, the logical and ethical objections presented make the viability of this principle as a Kantian categorical imperative doubtful. In a world where sociopathy and religious zealotry exist, it is not always feasible to base one's actions upon the perceived desires of others. The golden rule needs to evolve beyond our self-interest or the desires of others. As Forward argues, perhaps the golden rule must be approached in its original religious context, as this context provides an ethical and metaphysical grounding for a belief in the ultimate power of human goodness. In going beyond hurt, what feels good, wishes and desires the Taoist, the sage, makes the self of the people his self. Tao Te Ching Chap 49 brings into the picture the oneness and connection of all of ourselves. The Confucian, now the man of perfect virtue, wishing to be established himself, seeks also to establish others. Wishing to be enlarged himself, he seeks also to enlarge others. To be able to judge of others by what is near in ourselves. This may be called the art of virtue. Analects of Confucius 6:30, the Confucian bring into the picture the enlarging, developing, improving us all on our spiritual path by what we do. The Sikhism, precious like jewels are the minds of all. To hurt them is not at all good. If thou desirest thy beloved, then hurt thou not anyone's heart. Guru Arjan Dev Jai 259, the Sikh adds it is the beloved's desire for us we need to pursue. Baha'u'llah takes it to the level of, O Son of Man, if thine eyes be turned towards mercy, forsake the things that profit thee, and cleave unto that which will profit mankind. And if thine eyes be turned towards justice, choose thou for thy neighbor that which thou choosest for thyself, improving all of mankind and choosing justice. Make not your deeds as snares wherewith to entrap the object of your aspiration, and deprive not yourselves of this ultimate objective for which have ever yearned all such as have drawn nigh unto God. Say, the very life of all deeds is my good pleasure, and all things depend upon mine acceptance. Baha'u'llah and everyone's ultimate objective is dependent upon God's acceptance of all our deeds. Make not your deeds as snares wherewith to entrap the object of your aspiration, and deprive not yourselves of this ultimate objective for which have ever yearned all such as have drawn nigh unto God. Say, the very life of all deeds is my good pleasure, and all things depend upon mine acceptance. Baha'u'llah and everyone's ultimate objective is dependent upon God's acceptance of all our deeds.